Hey everybody, today we're going to work on this American 1100 series padlock. Great lock. This is an 1106 in green, obviously. Bitting on this, been a bit of a challenge. Very low first pin, very high set second pin. 3, 4, 5, pretty similar. But just a challenge to get to that number 2 without oversetting number 1. So I'm using a Jimmy Long deep flat hook to kind of get around that if I can. Top of the keyway tension here. This is a very audible lock there. Chock full of spools and, well, serrated pins and a couple of spools. So I like to listen to it and kind of feel what's going on in addition to hearing what's going on. Let's see what happens here. Number 1. Just barely a nudge. And I'm using a little bit more tension than some people do, just because it gives me a little bit more feedback on this lock. Number 2, just a push up, seems to have released. Number 3, binding. Number 4 is really low. Number 5 is really low. Let me go to number 5 first. Good click on 5. Good click on 4. 3 is set. 4. And 5. May have to come back to 5. Let's look back to number 2. It's up there pretty good. Back to 1. Yeah, very easy to overset number 1. So I don't want to push unless I have to. There's number 2. Now it's set. Back to 3. 4 dropped down. It's a hard bind. Let me go to 5 and feel it. Little counter rotation. 5, but again, binding really hard. Let's come back some. 3. Feels good. 4. 5, 4, and 3. I don't know. They feel pretty good. Let's go to number 2. Number 1 is set. Number 2 is way up there. Hard to find it so far up there. And there it is. So that number 2, you really have to reach for it to get up there. So let's gut this lock and see what we're looking at here. Sorry I don't have the best camera set up. I'll get a tripod eventually. There is the rivet. Key warding. Here is our lock cylinder. I'm going to go ahead and use the key. Get this set back. And here is our follower. So rotate this over. Oh, gonna make a rookie mistake here. I gotta get the clip off of it, don't I? That is the retainer. Gotta get that. Okay, gonna rotate it about 90 degrees here using a plug follower. And there we go. All right, once I get this, I'll show you guys everything. We'll start with pin 1. It's a serrated key pin. Pin 2 is that really high one. And it is a good old-fashioned regular key pin. Not enough room for serrations on it. So high up there. Come on. There we go. Here is 3. Another serrated key pin. Number 4. Another serrated key pin. And number 5. Another serrated key pin. There are our key pins. Let's see what happens in the Bible here. So empty, number 6 hole, number 5 is a serrated spool. Come on out of there. Number 4 is a serrated pin. Number 3 is a serrated spool. Number 2, not much tension on number 2. Have to dump it out here in a sec. Let's see if we can get number 1. I can get easier than 2. And of course I dropped it into another hole. Let's cover that up. Let's get number 2 out of there. Number 2 is a serrated pin, and number 1 is also a serrated driver pin. And then we got all the little springs. Get everything laid out here, show you guys what we're dealing with. All right. There we go. Might be easier if I could actually get this in shot. What I'm going to do, let me flip the camera around here. There we go. There it is. So we'll drop all our springs in place. The little protrusion that sticks out here is telling you that's the front of the cylinder, so you've got pin 1 right there. Let's go ahead and drop springs, and then we'll get this puppy loaded back up. Oops. There is the spring for 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Let's see. Let's load it from the back up here. So we'll get number 5, the serrated spool, drop it in there. Get it down where it goes. Number 4, just a regular serrated pin. Pushing up that follower. Number 2 is a serrated spool, or 3 is a serrated spool. Covered up. Number 2 is regular old-fashioned serrated pin. And number 1 is serrated pin. And we're back all together in the Bible there. Let's get our key pins put in place. Number 1. It's very short number 2. Oh, it's too small to grab with tweezers. Number 3, all of these are serrated except for number 2 because it's so small. 4, and 5. All back in and all flush. Let's go ahead and load this guy up here. All back in. Get the retainer back in place. Good to go there. Let's put it all back in the lock. Little washer inside has moved around a smidge. Get that back where it goes. Warding. Screw rivet, and then screw back in here. All back together, locks up and releases. All right, thanks for watching, guys. This one's been a fun one. I like these locks. There's a ton of feedback to them. Very audible locks and a lot of fun to figure out those spool pins and serrated pins.